years following the disappointment of Rocky V, Sylvester Stallone stumbled through a series of hits and mostly misses. In 1999, he finally sat down to write a new Rocky script, the story of a retired boxer returning to the ring for one last bout. But no one was interested.
I said, this is a good one. This is a really good one. And they said, no, never. Over our dead bodies.
The last one was turned down twice.
They didn't want to do another Rocky. They didn't have a good relationship with him at the end.
I was resistant. I didn't think that there was an audience out there to do it.
For more than 6 years, the studio refused to greenlight it.
Nobody wanted to make it. Couldn't get any interest anywhere. United Artists would not make the picture. They felt it was a bad bet.
It's incredible. After the movies probably made billions of dollars, people multi-millionaires. When he wants to do the Rocky Balboa, no one wants to do it.
In a way, Stallone and Rocky had come full circle.
That was the hardest odyssey. You go back and you've been up and down, and following a fifth sequel that was not successful from 1990, and here you are in 2006, 16 years later, excuse me, the last thing you were doing was Spy Kids. So what, are you kidding me?
I think he was down and counted out. And I think, again, clear example of the fact that you can't count him out.
He says, Bert, I have a script. They turned me down at MGM, but I want you to read the script. Tell me what you say would matter to me. So I read it. I called him up. I says, we must do it. It's beautiful.
It wasn't going to happen until Joe Roth of Revolution Studios got involved.
Sly gave it to Joe Roth, who said he wanted to do it.
And we all got together, and the negativity changed because of him.
I gave him all the reasons why it shouldn't be done, and he gave me all the reasons why it should be done. So they were all right. I was dead wrong.
When Stallone finally got the go-ahead, he was only given a small budget, just like the early years. And even before the filming began, critics were mocking him. They said a geriatric Rocky smells of career desperation.
The critics who had, one eye firmly raised and going, Rocky VI, give me a break.
My wife, she was borderline hysterical, actually. She goes, you'll make a fool of yourself. You're too old.
But Stallone decided that he would not only star in the film, he would direct it again as well.
If I'm going to go down in flames, I might as well be in the cockpit.
Right from the start, Stallone decided to shake things up. The film begins with Rocky at Adrian's grave.
I wrote about 5 drafts with her alive, and the son was in the Air Force. And Rocky goes, I want to fight again. And I went, wow, this is not that interesting. And I thought, if he's going to be devastated and back to less than zero, where the audience will be behind him and follow his drama, then the most precious thing in his life has to be gone.
Wait a minute. The movie opens and she's dead?
The whole idea of having a fold-up chair hidden in a tree so you can sit there and talk to your wife. Because he had nobody.
Now I had the basis for a film. Just estrangement and loneliness and isolation and grief.
In Rocky Balboa, an older Rocky, now retired and widowed, is trying to find his place in a new world, running a restaurant and working to repair his relationship with his son, played this time by Milo Ventimiglia.
When I come here, you don't feel so comfortable, and I certainly don't want to do that.
It's where the drama lies of these two characters. And of course, having Adrian not around anymore and the heartbreak that Rocky has.
He's alone. He doesn't have anybody.
Everyone's going to have this fight someday in their life, this emotional battle. It's about loss, and it's about embracing the future when everything you love is gone. It's just this biggest fight of his life.
When offered an exhibition match against Mason the Line Dixon, Rocky agrees to fight the champion.
And I think it was also a metaphor for him. Yeah, hey, I'm not done yet.
For Stallone, this comeback tale had personal meaning.
The story of an older guy coming back in had resonance. It was about defining what age is and when somebody's finished or not finished.
But neither Rocky nor Stallone knew what they'd be getting themselves into in the lead up to this fight against Mason the Line Dixon, played by real-life boxer Antonio Tarver.
The last one was, oh my God.
So you're gonna drop dead in the ring. Rocky 1, you were 29. You're 60 years old, you're gonna have a heart attack. I mean, they're doing like 34 setups in the ring with Tarver.
The pace and punishment were grueling.
The last one, I cracked the vertebrae in my neck. I tore my Achilles tendon. The knee also had to be operated, had to have a arthroscopic surgery. And we still had to fight. The whole training, I'm walking around with this boot, but it turned out I got in better shape doing that. Normally, because of just the strain of limping around like that, I said, gee, my legs are in great shape. I never had to, I should have broke my foot a long time ago. Every time there's a problem, it's good luck in a Rocky. Every time it's a perfect shoot, it ends up being rhinestone or something my mom would shoot. So, you know, keep that beatings coming, folks.
Stallone decided that this was going to be his most authentic fight scene ever.
I knew it was going to be the last Rocky, and I wanted it to be the most real. We had a real champion in there. And the punches by far in that there's more contact in that fight than all the fights put together.
He had really gained a confident sense of how to shoot the fights according to what the demands of the franchise were.
The fight was shot with real spectators, seated for a real bout between Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor.
This is the truest of all the fights, because at this point, HBO had become the template for how boxing is watched. It's mathematical. There is no secret to it. It's every fight is the same. And we switched to high def during the fight to change that whole mood, and the lighting becomes more flat and garish, which is exactly what you would see in a high def production.
Somehow, Stallone and his alter ego Rocky once again defied the odds and went the distance.
There were all kinds of stories about what a great shoot it was. He had had his run up the stairs, and that it started to snow. Big, real flakes, supernaturally large snowflakes. I mean, what God shined on Sly to give him that scene?
Once again, Stallone found inspiration in the underdog neighborhood, the neighborhood where it all began.
It was pretty extraordinary. All the people are there. A little worn, a little different, like we all are.
We'd be on the streets of Philly, and we'd kind of have like barricades around us and people around us, making sure that the public wasn't, you know, wandering onto set.
Well, I'm going to actually go in there, and Rocky is shopping. He has a restaurant, and I'll just be signing autographs. In other words, being Rocky and just shooting like a live film, it became mayhem. Absolute mayhem.
Sly would be like setting up a shot and talking to his first ADs. One time this woman just walked up. I think she said to Sly, you know, it's good to see you back in the neighborhood, Rock. It's good to see you back in the neighborhood. And then she just walked off. And Sly didn't miss a beat. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to see you too. Yeah, you look great. And then he turned around and just kept going back to, you know, everything that we were working on.
For audiences and reviewers alike, Rocky Balboa was a winner. It pulled in over $155 million worldwide.
Stallone somehow enchants them with this admission that, like the rest of us, he's getting older, that his glory days are behind him, and he touches another chord all of us respond to.
This was an attempt to sort of return to the beginning. This was the redemption movie.
It was just a minor miracle. Really, it was a minor miracle.
Stallone and his boxer had surprised the critics. With a new twist on his original plotline, Rocky had gone out on top, and so had his creator.
And I think there's something about the willingness to continue to fight and continue to fight it and try to get it done right is inherent in Stallone. Just doesn't give up. He's a real battler.
I thought it was true. It was honest.
I didn't know how big it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be a great movie, and I thought it was one of the best movies they ever did.
35 years after Rocky first appeared, 5 years after his final curtain call, audiences still want to know what happens next. Sylvester Stallone insists that Rocky Balboa will be the last episode of the franchise. But there is at least one more Rocky project in the works.
I know that they have announced a Rocky musical, yes. He was intent on seeing a stage production made. It's something that's been on his mind for a long time. Movies are kind of passé now. It's musicals we care about.
After 35 years, Rocky is timeless.
The pictures have always been shown on cable TV around the world. There's not a moment in time, probably, when there's not a Rocky playing somewhere in the world, including this very minute.
We made a tremendous impact.
Rocky movies are very inspirational to people.
I've talked to a lot of fighters that they said, after I saw Rocky, I wanted to be a fighter.
In the end, Stallone and his character have become inextricably linked. The star and his creation.
It's a drug. It's such a wonderful, all-American high.
If you're sitting home and it comes on, you just keep watching it.
Rocky has stood the test of time.
Everyone has a Rocky in them. That's what has kept it going. It's certainly not me. It's their own inner Rocky.
Two lives woven into one.
I remember one day I kind of glanced over and saw Sly standing in the corner. And then I see his whole face change. And he gets this really slow look in his eye. He went from Sly to Rocky in, a matter of moments.
It's been this extraordinary ride to be able to have gone through all these films.
But it ain't about how hard you hit.
I think that the movie's parallels life.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Sly Stallone's real-life struggle made the on-screen story that much richer, that much better.
How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
He came essentially out of nowhere.
Come on. Show shot. Do your show shot. What do you think?
Why do you want to fight?
Because I can't sing or dance. Hey, yo.
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind marrying me very much.
Don't worry about nothing. You just sleep as long as you want, okay? Because I'm going to be here when you wake up.
Would you be interested in fighting Apollo Creed for the World Heavyweight Championship?
His success just kept growing and growing and growing along with the character.
You know, I could have done nothing without you. Yo, Adrian, we did it.
The idea of someone who was a loser, who had the guts, stamina, and strength of character to come back the way he did, is something that a lot of people can relate to.
Go for it.
In the ring and in real life, Rocky and Stallone. 2 lives, 1 message.
As much as I like to say, oh, Rocky the character, it's me. I mean, it's basically who I am in a lot of ways, because you can't fake it for 30-some years.
A message of endurance and heart.
Come and get it. Come on, Tom.